my blog, NotYourAverageFox.com, where I like to talk about motherhood, natural, and sustainable living. So in today's video, we're going to talk about low milk supply. If you have a low milk supply, more than likely there's a reason causing that. So I'm just going to go over 4 of the main reasons today, and hopefully ways to help you out and get that supply boosted back up. I promise that my child doesn't always look this homely. She's wearing one of Wyatt's old shirts. And I've actually recorded this video over the course of 2 days because we've been busy and the kids have been wild animals. So I hope you all can look over the distraction of my children. What do you see? What is that? So the first reason that you may have a low milk supply is because you're not pumping enough or you're not feeding your baby as often as you should. And the second reason is because of improper latch, or you're actually pumping incorrectly. The third reason is because you're not drinking enough water or consuming enough calories. And lastly, it could be related to an earlier breast surgery, some medications, herbal supplements that you're taking, and also stress will play a major factor in that as well. So let's jump in and get to it. Are you going to help me? So the most common reason is because you aren't feeding your baby enough or you're not pumping enough if you're one that pumps. So what you're going to want to do is feed your baby on demand. Some moms will tell me that they follow a schedule, and I don't agree with that. It works for some moms, it doesn't work for others, but I don't recommend it and I don't do it myself, so I'm not going to tell you all to follow a schedule either. Breastfeeding on demand just means that you're going to feed your baby whenever he's hungry or she's hungry. So you're just going to follow their cues. If you notice that they kind of appear hungry or they're crying, just kind of pop them on, try to get them to nurse, and usually that fixes the problem. Don't wait every 4 hours. If that might be okay for formula moms, but you're a breastfeeding mom and that's not going to work. So if your baby's crying, don't wait the 4 hours. Go ahead and feed your baby, because that's good for the baby and it's good for your milk supply too. The more that you breastfeed, the more milk you produce, so keep that baby breastfeeding. Even if it's been 20 minutes since the last time he ate, let him eat again, because it's not going to hurt anything. It's going to do a lot of good for you. If you're a puppy mama, then you need to be pumping at least every 3 hours. Throughout the night, it's okay to stretch it to 4 hours sometimes. I know that's hard to believe. Sometimes I've talked to moms before and they're like, oh, well, I like to sleep throughout the night and I'll let my husband feed the baby a bottle so I can get some rest. Well, that might be okay way every now and then, but you definitely need to get up and pump throughout the night, because if you don't, then you'll slowly start to produce less and less milk. Well, let's talk about improper latching. So if you have an improper latch, then you probably know it because you're going to be in a lot of pain. Not just when your baby first latches, but throughout the whole breastfeeding session. It's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt pretty bad. But not only is it going to hurt, it's also possible that it will contribute to your low milk supply. So you need to get that seen about, hit up a lactation consultant, talk to some people you know, and see if you can get that latch fixed, because that's a whole nother ball game. When a baby isn't correctly latched on your breast, if they don't have enough breast tissue in there, like if their latch is too shallow, then they're not going to get enough stimulation on the breast to tell it to make more milk. So that's a problem there. You want the latch to be really wide, flanged out like a fish, and you want the baby to get as much breast tissue as possible so it can further stimulate your milk. Hi, baby. Ren is currently nursing actually right now. So, until the camera hi. Say hi. Is that you in the picture? Yeah? Is that Rennie Pooh? And let's also talk about improper pumping. So I actually didn't know that you could pump improperly. After I had my son Wyatt, I was on customer service with my pump brand trying to figure out why I wasn't getting enough milk. And when this happened, I thought something was wrong with my pump, but actually I just wasn't using the right size flanges. And I'm going to show you all here in a little bit what I'm talking about. If you don't use the correct size flange, then it's going to hurt first of all if it's too small. you're not going to stimulate the breast, almost like if your baby's not latched correctly, it's not going to stimulate it properly, so you're not going to get as much milk that way either. So I've pulled my old pump out from the closet. It hasn't been used in quite a while. I don't like pumping. But yeah, I did get my pump out so I could show you all the flanges and what I was talking about improper use. But this is the flange, and this is where your nipple goes. So if you notice, that hole is a pretty good size and compared to my finger. Some women do have large nipples. I do not. So I actually had to order this one. This one I ordered, they gave it to me from free from Amita's customer service sent this to me. It's a size, it's a 21 millimeter, and it says Flexi Shield on it. It's actually a stretchy type of flange, but anyway, it just sits inside the thing like this. My pump came with a few other parts right here. This one's a 28.5 millimeter, and this one says 22.5. They've got different sizes of the diameters of them, so if you have a larger nipple, you can use the larger shield, and if it's a lot smaller, then you're going to need a smaller one. So you can test it out and see which one kind of works best. So next, let's talk about consuming enough calories and drinking enough water, because that's very important, isn't it, Rennie? Tell them how important it is. You drink enough. So if you don't drink enough water, then you're not going to produce enough milk, and that should be common sense, but a lot of people don't know that. If you want milk to come out, then you need to drink enough water, because breast milk is actually, a lot of it's made of water. So to continue to pump or feed your baby enough breast milk, you need to make sure you're upping your water intake. And the best way I found to do this is to fill up a large thing of water, like your largest water bottle you can find, and just leaving it out where you can remember it and continue drinking sips of it throughout the day. So, and also eating enough calories. I know after you have a newborn, it's kind of hard to remember to eat, at least it was for me. Just try to eat little snacks throughout the day. If you don't have the time, just whenever you think of it, grab a granola bar or just anything, a banana, just to keep your calorie intake up. So, oh, and also stress. Stress is a major one. If you're worried about not producing enough milk, chances are you're probably not going to produce enough, because you're going to be stressed about that. If you just started a new job, you can expect a dip in your milk supply, because you might be a little bit stressed about that or overwhelmed. Anything new in your life, or if you're stressed about money, literally anything like that can contribute to a low milk supply. So I know it's easier said than done, but try your best to lower the amount of stress, because it will help you out in the long run. And lastly, we're going to talk about the use of medications, herbal supplements, and surgeries, breast surgeries. Certain medications you take can lower your milk supply or completely dry you up. Say, excuse me. So you'll want to talk to your doctor or a lactation consultant to see which medications are compatible with breastfeeding. I am neither of those, so unfortunately I can't help you out with that, but hopefully someone can. And also herbal supplements. So I don't know all of them that can cause a low milk supply, but I do know that essential oils, you're going to want to stay away from peppermint. So I've always stayed away from peppermint oil until now, because it doesn't matter as much. Ren is 17 months, so I'm not as worried about producing as much as I did when she was less than a year old. And fenugreek. A lot of people take fenugreek thinking it's going to help their milk supply, but be wary of that, because it can also have the opposite effect on some people. In some women, it actually will decrease your milk supply, so definitely be careful when using that. And also breast surgeries. If you've had a breast reduction, I just want you to be aware that you may or may not be able to produce a full milk supply without supplementing. When you have a breast reduction, they will cut out some of your breast tissue, obviously, and your milk glands will be in there, and it will also take out some of those. And those are important. You need those to be able to produce milk. So it makes sense, if you have less of those, then the less milk that you're going to produce. Thanks for watching this video. I hope these tips were helpful. If you have a low milk supply, hopefully it'll be back up to normal in no time. So until next time, see you again. Thanks, bye. But if you don't use a correct size, then you're... Sorry. She's a little distracting. And here come the children. Guys, go on. Go. I'm trying to video. Oh, this is what happens every time. I'm not even sure if I'll cut this out, so y'all can see what happens to me. So, drink enough water, eat enough food. I think that sounded weird.